He was a billionaire, living in a world of wealth, power, and endless opportunity. She was a poor girl, carrying a secret that could destroy everything. When fate brought them together in marriage, neither expected the twists of love, trust, and hidden danger that would follow. What happens when a heart full of love hides a secret too dangerous to reveal? This is a story of courage, trust, a love that can conquer even the deepest fears. The ballroom shimmered with golden lights. Guests whispered, noticing the unusual couple. The billionaire, tall and composed, held her hand gently. The poor girl, in a simple dress, looked around nervously. Her heart raced as she realized the life she was stepping into. She had a secret. A secret that could shatter everything. Every smile she gave felt heavy with hidden truth. He noticed her hesitation, his eyes filled with curiosity. She smelled the fresh roses that adorned the room. Soft music played, but her mind was loud with fear. Her fingers trembled in his steady grip. She felt the warmth of his hand and wondered if he could ever sense her inner conflict. He leaned closer, whispering words full of kindness. She wanted to believe him, but the mission in her heart pulled her in another direction. Each step she took felt like walking on fragile ice. The crowd laughed and celebrated. Oblivious to the storm brewing inside her, she saw his eyes catch hers. And guilt struck sharply. She wanted to run, to confess. But the words froze in her throat. He smiled, unaware, and pressed a gentle kiss on her forehead. The warmth of his gesture made her heart ache. The secret she carried was dangerous. It could destroy him. Destroy them, if it came out. Her breath caught as she realized the depth of her feelings for him. A single tear slipped down her cheek, unnoticed by the sparkling crowd. She vowed silently to protect him, even if it meant risking everything. He held her closer, feeling her tension, trying to soothe it. She closed her eyes. Listening to the rhythm of his heartbeat, it felt steady, comforting. And real, her mind screamed with the knowledge of her betrayal. But her heart whispered a different truth. Love had crept in, uninvited, unstoppable. She could not undo it. No matter how dangerous the world outside was, the night stretched on, filled with laughter, music, and fragile secrets. Every moment with him was a mix of warmth and fear. She longed to tell him the truth, but feared the pain it might bring. And yet, she could not deny the purity of his care, the kindness in his eyes. Her secret felt heavier in his gentle presence. She realized that protecting him meant choosing love over everything else. The air was filled with the scent of roses and candle wax. Her hand fit perfectly in his, and a small smile escaped her lips. She wondered how long she could keep the secret. And yet, for the first time in her life, she felt safe. She felt his warmth like a shield against the world. Every laugh he shared felt like sunlight breaking through. Clouds her secret throbbed at the edge of her mind. Heavy and sharp, she saw his eyes glimmer with trust. And guilt bit deeper. He held her hand tighter, as if sensing her silent turmoil. She breathed in his scent, a mix of leather and cologne. Calming her stormy thoughts, he spoke softly, asking if she was all right. Her heart ached with longing to confess. Yet fear held her back. Trembling on the tip of her tongue, she watched his lips curve in a gentle smile, full of love and patience. For the first time, she felt seen, not as a spy, not as a girl from a poor background, but as someone worthy of being cherished. Her heart swelled with emotions she had never allowed herself to feel. He led her to the balcony, where the city lights sparkled like stars beneath them. The wind brushed her hair. Carrying the scent of night jasmine, he looked into her eyes and whispered, "I trust you completely." Her heart faltered. She wanted to tell him everything, to unload the burden, but words failed. She leaned into him. Feeling his steady heartbeat against her cheek, a warmth spread through her chest, melting the fear bit by bit. She realized love had given her courage she did not know she possessed. A soft breeze lifted her hair, and she felt a strange serenity despite the secret she bore. He pressed a gentle kiss to her temple. She almost broke down, ready to spill everything, but she stayed silent, letting the moment stretch, savoring the tenderness that made her heart ache with longing. She promised herself silently that one day she would reveal the truth. For now, she would hold this love close, protecting it as fiercely as she protected her secret. And in that moment, despite the shadows lurking in her past, she felt something she never expected dash home. Days turned into weeks, and the world around them carried on in sparkling oblivion. She grew braver in his presence, laughing freely, sharing small joys, though the secret still weighed heavily. He noticed the little pauses, the fleeting shadows in her eyes, but he never pressed. Instead, he gave her space, patience, and unconditional care. One evening, they walked through a quiet garden, the sky painted in shades of orange and pink. He stopped, taking her hands in his, eyes locking with hers. "I feel something you are not saying," he said gently, his voice full of warmth. Her breath caught. Every instinct told her to hide. Yet every heartbeat pushed her toward truth. Tears welled up, not from fear, but from love. Too deep to contain, she whispered, "There is something I must tell you." He nodded, his expression calm, encouraging. A safe harbor in a storm she never expected. "I am not who you think I am." She began trembling, "Yet every moment with you has been real, every feeling true." He listened without interruption, holding her hands, letting her pour out the secret she carried for so long. As she spoke, the fear slowly gave way to relief, to the strange lightness of truth. When she finished, silence wrapped around them, not heavy, but expectant. He pulled her close, resting his forehead against hers, his voice soft. "I am glad you trusted me." She blinked in shock, expecting anger or betrayal, but he smiled, tender and understanding, and whispered, "Love is stronger than secrets." Her heart melted, disbelief and joy colliding in a single, breathtaking moment. For the first time, she felt that love could heal even the deepest fears. He held her as the sun dipped below the horizon, and she realized something incredible. Her heart, once bound by lies and duty, was finally free, and in his arms she discovered a love worth every risk, every sacrifice, every hidden truth. The world outside could wait here. In this moment, love reigned completely. The days after that evening felt different, almost magical. She walked beside him without fear, her hand in his, feeling the security of his unwavering love. Every glance he gave her carried reassurance, every touch a promise. Her secret no longer felt like a chain, but a reminder of how far she had come. One rainy afternoon, sat by the window listening. 2 raindrops tapping on the glass. She leaned her head on his shoulder, and he wrapped his arm around her, holding her close. "I never imagined love could feel like this," she whispered softly. He kissed the top of her head and said, "And I never imagined it could be this real, this strong." Her heart swelled. A mix of relief, joy, and an overwhelming sense of belonging. Even the fear that had once shadowed her seemed to vanish. Replaced by the warmth of his trust, she realized that true love does not demand perfection. It accepts flaws, embraces fears, and shines brightest in honesty. He pulled back slightly, looking into her eyes with a gentle intensity. "No matter what your past holds," he said, "I am here, and I am not going anywhere." Tears ran freely now, not of sorrow, but of profound gratitude. She smiled through them, feeling lighter than she had ever felt in her entire life. The storm outside mirrored the peace inside, her refreshing, cleansing, and full of life. In his presence, every doubt faded, replaced by a love that was pure, kind, and unwavering. She realized that the greatest courage was not in hiding, but in trusting someone with your heart. He held her tighter, whispering promises of tomorrow, and she knew that together they could face anything. In that quiet, rain-kissed room, love had conquered fear. Hope had blossomed where doubt once lived. Her secret was still a part of her, but it no longer defined her. He loved her fully, completely, and that was enough. She closed her eyes, letting the rhythm of his heartbeat become the song of her soul, and for the first time, she believed that love could truly heal all wounds. The day came when the world would see them together, not as a billionaire and a poor girl, not as a spy and a lover, but simply as two hearts intertwined. The mansion was adorned with flowers of every color, soft sunlight filtering through the grand windows. Guests arrived, their whispers curious, but she held his hand. Feeling grounded, fearless in his presence, he looked at her with pride, his eyes full of admiration and love. She smiled back, a serene, confident smile that hid the fear she once carried. As they entered the hall, people noticed the glow around her, the effortless grace she had found. Her secret, once a shadow over her heart, no longer mattered. He leaned close and whispered, "Today, nothing can touch us." She felt a rush of warmth, a surge of certainty that love had transformed her life completely. Family and friends raised glasses, celebrating not just wealth or status, but the strength of trust and devotion. The poor girl, once trembling with anxiety, now stood radiant, her heart open. Free in a quiet corner, he pulled her aside, holding her close. "No matter what comes," he said, "we face it together." Tears of joy filled her eyes, and she realized that the greatest victory was not wealth, power, or secret was this unwavering love. The sun set, casting golden hues over the celebration, and she felt a deep, unshakable peace. Every heartbeat, every breath was a promise of tomorrow filled with hope, kindness, and enduring love. Her past no longer threatened her future. He kissed her gently, and she knew that in his arms she had finally found home. And as they looked out at the horizon, together, she understood the truth she had long denied. Love can conquer fear, heal wounds, and create a life more beautiful than anything imagined. From that moment, they would face the world side by side, hearts united, secrets forgiven, and love eternal. The night grew calm, the mansion glowing softly under the stars. They walked through the gardens hand in hand. Feeling the cool breeze brush against their faces, she leaned into him, resting her head on his shoulder, feeling the steady warmth of his presence. Every moment felt tender, every word exchanged filled with unspoken understanding. He stopped under a tree, its branches heavy with blossoms, and looked down at her. "I want you to always remember," he said gently, "that nothing can break what we have built together." Her eyes glistened, a mixture of gratitude and awe. She realized that love had reshaped her world, turning fear into courage, doubt into hope. The past, with all its secrets and shadows, no longer held power over her heart. He brushed a strand of hair from her face, his touch soft and reassuring. In that simple gesture, she felt the depth of his devotion, the strength of his promise. They sat on a bench, surrounded by the quiet fragrance of flowers, sharing stories, laughter, and dreams. She told him about her childhood, about struggles he had never known, and he listened, never judging, only embracing her completely. Her heart swelled with relief, realizing that love could truly be kind, patient, and forgiving. He whispered plans for the future, small adventures and grand journeys alike. She felt excitement mingle with peace. 4. The first time, she understood that true love does not demand perfection. It celebrates honesty, nurtures trust, and holds you safe even when the world seems uncertain. She rested her hand on his chest, feeling his heartbeat echo her own, and knew she was exactly where she belonged. The stars above seemed to shine brighter, mirroring the newfound clarity and warmth in her heart. And in that gentle night, surrounded by the serenity of nature and the certainty of his love, she understood fully. Love can transform lives, heal hidden wounds, and make even the most fragile hearts whole. Together, they rose, walking back toward the house, ready to embrace tomorrow, unafraid, unbroken, and utterly in love. The morning sun poured through the windows, casting a warm glow over the mansion. She woke to the sound of birds chirping, and for a moment remembered the weight of her secret. But now it felt lighter, almost gone, replaced by love and trust that anchored her heart. He entered the room quietly, carrying 2 cups of tea, and smiled as he saw her awake. "Good morning," he said softly. His voice filled with warmth. She returned his smile, feeling a peace she had never known before. They sat by the window, sipping tea, watching the city awaken beneath them. No words were needed, every glance, every touch, every shared breath spoke volumes. She reached for his hand, holding it gently, and he squeezed it in return. "I love you," she whispered, finally free to say it without fear, and he replied, "I love you too." How more than words could ever hold. The world outside continued its busy rhythm, but inside, time seemed to stand still. She realized that love, when patient and kind, could heal even the deepest scars her past. Once a source of guilt and anxiety, was now a story of growth, courage, and ultimate redemption. Together, they would face everything: joy, sorrow, challenges, and triumphs. But always as one. He leaned closer, kissing her forehead, and she felt the gentle certainty of home in his arms as they stood together. Watching the horizon, she understood that true love is not about perfection, it is about trust, compassion, and the courage to open one's heart fully. And in that quiet, golden morning, they knew no matter what the world brought, they had found something eternal. Love had conquered fear, healed old wounds, and created a life more beautiful than they could have imagined. Hand in hand, hearts aligned, they stepped forward into the future, unbroken and forever together.